how do we set reporting to where we're in control of things, and but we're not doing all the work. The general workflow is we have to define exactly what we're trying to do. So your job shouldn't be so complicated that you're trying to figure out, you're not doing all the work. You should not be doing all the work. The main thing you should be doing is make them tell you, hey, you're the analytics people. You have a job here because your analytics supposedly helps me to achieve my goals. And if it's not doing that, well, then we need to find something else for you to do or something like that. The real goal for you is to make sure that they have some responsibility to help you meet your mark. So what I've seen before is, we're all called into a room, and then the analytics people show the analytics. And I just remember being in those meetings, and here I am, a manager. I'm not even sure what the heck we're trying to do. Like, oh, is that a good number? I don't know. Is that good for us? I have no idea. I have no context. So when I came to work for Resound, I realized that what people really need, and when I started talking with clients, I started realizing what people really need is they need to start from the top. And they need to not feel like, as a manager, you need to not feel like you're the one who's responsible for being smart and for knowing all this stuff and for understanding all this technical stuff. You don't. That's not on you. What's on you is making sure that you can find consultants who can report in a way that is going to tie in to what you're trying to do. So what I love about our go-to guy for analytics is that he asks me from the beginning, hey, what's the goal of this site? What are we trying to do with this, like, let's say, website? I couldn't even answer that question at first, but then as we started moving on, I started seeing that clients aren't engaging with our reports. And so what does that mean? Well, we're not telling a story. We're not telling a story that they can understand. And so we started looking at it like a funnel and started talking like, here's what we noticed. So we started adding some context to the reports. Here's what we noticed. Here's what we think should change. Nobody wants to do that because there's accountability with that. If we say something should change, we have to go to bat for it. Well, that's what you should want as a manager. You should want people who are gonna tell you, hey, give me some advice. Tell me what needs to change. And then in another video, I'll probably talk about the second part of the article, which is exactly how to go through this process. But right now, I just want to talk about if you are thinking that you have to understand all the data, then you don't have to understand all the data, but you do have to understand what your goals are and how you expect the website or whatever you're measuring to be able to help you achieve your goals. Because if you can do that, the next question is, all right, analytics team, how will you help me reach these goals? And you have a conversation with them, and then make sure they are interfacing. You guys are connecting, you're interfacing around the real problem. And then they're able to say, okay, here's our role in the problem. Here's what we'll do. And this is our job. And you say, okay, with all of your suggestions, I need to understand how it's going to help me. It's kind of simple. And I think the myth that needs to be busted is just, look, you don't have to know everything. You just have to know the main things. You have to know the point. You have to know the goal.